Dude. That's sick. Sick. Saw dead. What is up, everybody? My name is Josh Migliori. Welcome back to another episode of the Running the Pass Cooking Show. Everyone, we are closing out the final week of the vacation recreation series, and like I stated last time, we are going out with a bang, something incredible, something delicious, and as always, something for you at home to recreate along with me. So let's get into it. What are we doing? We are recreating the Asian ribs from Ale's Kitchen in Campus 805 in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, what exactly is Campus 805? Well, this place is literally the mecca of food and drinks and entertainment and fun, all wrapped up and tied so nicely with a bow. This is the South's premier food and entertainment venue. You have not one, but three different types of breweries, an arcade, you have multiple different restaurants, and they're all just piled in. It's crazy. But we are not talking about just any restaurant. We are talking about the Ale's Kitchen inside of Straight to Ale Brewing. And they have the most delicious, crispy Asian ribs that I have ever had. So we are going to recreate it. We are going to be showing you how to make the glaze, how to smoke the ribs, all that good stuff. Let's stop talking about it and let's get into it.
Okay, so let's get right into how to make these delicious ribs. First, you're going to want to start off with whatever your favorite style of rib is. I'm going with baby back. Then simply pat your ribs dry. Next, I'm adding yellow mustard with a little bit of roasted garlic puree just to give the seasonings something to bind to. And yes, you got to rub it in. Speaking of rub, this is my secret rub. And again, I am not going to give it out, but you can make your own. And then simply add it to both sides of your rib and then lightly rub it in. And you don't have to go crazy with the rub, just enough to cover both sides. This next part is the preferred method for my smoker, but you can do whatever you want and what works best with yours. I'm simply adding applewood chips and some water and then adding my ribs to my smoker. And then I'm going to let this smoke at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours. Now, while that's smoking, let's get to the glaze. Start off by peeling about 1 tablespoon of fresh ginger. Then add a half a cup of shoyu soy sauce to a pot. Next, you'll add a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. Then add 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar and 3 tablespoons of sake, or if this is not available, you can use mirin. Then add a splash, about a quarter cup of pineapple juice, a tablespoon of gochujang, a quarter cup of brown sugar, and about 2 tablespoons of honey. Then grate in 1 tablespoon of that fresh ginger. Now you'll just simply have to whisk all the ingredients together and let this come up to temperature. And then you'll add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of a cornstarch slurry, which is simply equal parts of cornstarch and water. Then let this come up to temperature until it starts to thicken, and just like that, you have your Asian teriyaki glaze. Now, after 3 hours, your ribs should be looking just as beautiful as these. Then you'll just bring them inside, and with butcher paper, or if you don't have that, you can use aluminum foil. You'll wrap up your ribs nice and snug, just like a sleeping bag, and then return them to the smoker and let them smoke for an additional 2 hours. Now, while we're waiting for these to finish up in the smoker, let's go start those fries. Now, if you go back and watch our poutine episode, we started off with 2 russet potatoes, then cutting them into 1-inch slices, and then cutting those into batons or fry size. Then rinse them 3 times in cold water until your water is clear. Then fry them in oil that is heated at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 to 10 minutes until they're just cooked through. Then up your temperature of your oil to 350 degrees and fry them until they are golden brown and, as always, delicious. Then simply let them drain over a wire rack and season them with salt and a little bit of pepper if you like it fancy. After your ribs are done smoking for that 2 hours, unwrap those beauties and look at that bark. Now, what's going to go better than adding that teriyaki glaze that we made earlier right to it? Slap some of that stuff right on top. Don't skimp. Make it nice and thick with 3 C's. And once you've done that, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and add this till it gets a nice crispy glaze on top. All right, folks, so you guessed it. We are into the plating portion of this video. Take your ribs and cut them into little tiny delicious riblets. Start off by placing 2 of your riblets onto your plate, then brush on a little bit more of that glaze because it's delicious and why not? Now stack 2 more of those riblets right on top and you guessed it, brush on a little bit more of that glaze. Now take some of your fries and add them to your plate. And finally, add some finely diced scallions to the top and using some fancy tongs, add some cilantro leaves and then top off the ribs with a fresh squeeze of lime. There you have it, guys. Asian ribs and fries from Ale's Kitchen.
All right, everybody, the vacation recreation series is over. It's done with, and as you can see here, we nailed it. The Asian ribs and fries from Ale's Kitchen, all the way down in Huntsville, Alabama, inside of Campus 805. Everyone, these ribs fall off the bone tender. We brought them inside after smoking for 5 hours, and we glazed them up with that homemade teriyaki glaze. And as always, we gotta throw the side game into the mix with those crispy, crunchy fries. Now, we're gonna dig into this dish because why not? They're sitting here, they're looking delicious, and they just need to be inside my belly. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Look at that bite. Pulls right off the bone. You can see your teeth mark. You know barbecue is legit and it's done right when it looks like this. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. This series alone has been one of my favorites to film, and if you at home have recreated any of these dishes, please send it to our social media platforms. The link is in the description below, and as always, do not forget, right over here is a nice, beautiful subscribe button. Make sure to click it. I'll love you forever. Hugs, kisses, snaps, and all. And do not forget, videos coming out every other Wednesday. Love you guys. We will see you next week.